Hello children. So I promised you some of the difficult questions in my worksheet from parallelograms. I will be explaining it as short videos, and I'm doing this as an extra help for you all to understand and practice more and more questions. So in all our weekly worksheets, the most difficult questions I will be doing an explanation video of how to solve them and how to get the answer. So this is again something extra for my students as well as the other students, for those who are coming for the online classes, physical classes, as well as even if you are not coming for my classes. I hope this video will help you. So the question says ABCD is a rhombus. That's a very important detail. It's not just a parallelogram, it's a special parallelogram which we call as a rhombus. I already talked about the properties of rhombus in the last class, both in online and physical classes. And the second thing, the question says the rhombus ABCD has a perimeter of 40 centimeters and the diagonal AC has a length of 16 centimeters, and the question is to find out the length of the other diagonal, which is DB. Now, one thing most of you all understood and did correctly is, you all remember in a rhombus, just like a square, all four sides are equal, which means this side, this side, this side and this side will be equal. So you can easily find the length of any of these sides as 10 centimeters, which is 40 divided by 4. So I will mark these lengths as 10 centimeters each. Now we will pick one of these to do our question. Let me pick this DC. So I'll write down that DC is equal to 40 divided by 4, which is going to be 10 centimeters. So once you establish that fact, the next is how to figure out the length of the diagonal. Now this is where a very important property of rhombus will be used. Please don't forget this. This happens only in rhombus and squares. The diagonals bisect each other at 90 degrees. Now in a normal parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. That is true. In any parallelogram, this diagonal will bisect each other and this diagonal also will be bisected by the other diagonal. This is true for any parallelogram. But in rhombus, the speciality is they will bisect at 90 degrees, which means the angle here would be 90 degrees. Let's see how that helps to solve our problem later. But since we know that AC is 16, you can see AC is 16, which means AO will be 8 and OC will be 8. I can mention that also. I can say AO equals to OC and both are equals to 16 divided by 2, which is 8 centimeters. You can write the reason as diagonals bisect each other. Then, okay, I have found 8, 10 and I also said this is a 90 degree angle. So how is that going to help me to find out the length of the other diagonal? Children, look at this triangle carefully. By now, some of you would have figured out where this question is heading to, and in case still if you did not realize what's going on, let me draw that triangle separately. So it is a triangle like this, D, O, C, and we know this is 8, we know this is 10, and we know this is a right angle. At least now you must remember what is the technique we are going to use here. We are going to use the most famous mathematics theorem, that is Pythagoras theorem. So how can I apply Pythagoras? Let's call this DO part as x, so it's easy for us. So we can say hypotenuse, which is 10 squared, equals to x squared plus 8 squared. That is going to be 100 equals to x squared plus 64. Take the plus 64 to the other side, so it would be 100 minus 64 equals to x squared, and x squared is equal to 36, and the x will be equal to square root of 36, where we will be getting x as 6 centimeters. Most of you entered this as the answer. I feel pity on you because you have figured out the answer correctly, but you have not answered the question. Because the question is not asking the DO length, the question is asking the DB length, which is twice of x, because as I told you already, diagonals bisect each other. So the DB length should have been 6 times 2, it should have been 12 centimeters. So that should have been the final answer, not this. Hope you all understood how to get the answer for that question, children. I'll meet you with another explanation video for a different question. Bye for now.